I invited him to come along tonight to talk to us about the tips and tricks for the Basecamp managers. So take it away, please, Cajie D20. We're all ears. Welcome.
So it is either good evening, or for my colleagues here who are joining from District 20, it's good afternoon. My name is Cajie D20, and generally my friends call me Cajie. Let me share my screen first. So far, I have completed 2 paths, effective coaching and dynamic leadership, and currently at level 5 in team collaboration. And I'm also pursuing a 4th path. And as Carol has said, I have invested a lot of time and effort in Basecamp in the last 15 months since the rollout in District 20. And I thought that today I would share some of the tips and tricks that I've learned over this period of time, other than the basic functions of how to actually do Basecamp. And the reason is very simple. I strongly believe in the education module itself of Pathways. It's great. I mean, it is giving us real world skills that we can implement in our workplace, in our career. But the interface, yes, that could do with some tweaking. And I'm sure it will happen. But until that becomes easy, like Facebook, that I could run Basecamp on my phone, it is up to us as Basecamp managers to guide our members in doing the tasks properly. Now, as a Basecamp manager, what is our core role? What I'm going to just cover is how do we respond, first of all, to Basecamp requests in a timely manner, how to track member progress in Basecamp, and also the path progress for the club, and troubleshooting some common problems. And if there are any questions and answers, I will answer them at the end. If I look at a Basecamp manager, the role is to review the members' projects and to approve them in a timely manner. And how does that happen? A member submits his level completion request to the Basecamp manager, either through an alert from the system, or in our case, generally through WhatsApp, a member would message me and say, "Yeah, I have finished my level. Can you approve it?" And I review that and approve it so that the member can move on to the next level. And this should happen in a seamless way. But I will explain to you why it is a problem as of now, because when a member submits his level completion, the Basecamp sends the alert to the email address which is listed in the club contact information, and not to the VP ad. Now, how do we solve that problem? Because in future, probably the system will be enhanced to automatically send it to the VP ad. But as of now, it doesn't send it to the VP ad, it sends it to the email which is mentioned in your club contact. And if I was to show that to you, sorry, there was a slight thing.
Just need to share again, possibly, Cajie?
Yes, yeah, I'm doing that.
And then just flip to the tab that you want us to look at.
So if we go to Club Central, can we see that on this your screen?
We see Leadership Central, yes.
Yes. So if we go to the club contact and meeting information, currently Basecamp is configured so that it will send all alerts to this email. Now, generally, we put either the president's email here or the VP membership, but usually not the VP ad. And one of the simplest option, in my opinion, is just replace this email with the VP ads email. And then it is then the responsibility of the VP ad to make sure that if any inquiries come, because that's where they will be coming, then he either responds to it or forwards it to the president or to the VP membership. This is a simple hack to make sure that the VP ad or the Basecamp manager will always get the alerts whenever a member submits his level completion. There are other options if you are like tech savvy. For example, this email address could be the president's email address, but then you can set up a forwarding rule in this I have a yes. Yeah, did you have any questions?
No, you'd frozen a bit, but it's okay.
Ah, okay. Yeah, so this is the simplest option where you change the email address in the club contact to be the VP ads email address. So all the pathways requests will reach to him in time. Alternatively, if you're a tech savvy, you can then create a forwarding rule. Or are there any clubs who use, for example, the Toast?
Free Toast host.
Free Toast host. Yeah, they have a built-in feature where whenever a request goes, it will automatically send it to all the 3 Basecamp managers. So it depends on how you all want to set it up as a club. But the simplest club contact information, change it to VP ad. Moving on. Let's focus now on the Basecamp manager duties itself, which is either to approve the request or more importantly, to track the progress of the members, which is in your second tab here. And I'm not sure if all of you all are very familiar with the dashboard and how to find a particular member, what they are doing, where are they in their pathway journey. One of the easiest way to search for a member is here on the top right-hand side, where you can type the name of the member. The first few letters should be fine, and it would bring in the details of that member. I have no problem showing this member's details because she happens to be my wife. One of the tricks I used to use is, instead of typing the name, if you type the full club number in the box of the search, if you type this, it will bring in all the members who are enrolled into pathways. Not all your club members, but those who are enrolled into pathways. So I can see here that there are 27 club members in my club who are enrolled into pathways, which means I have to chase a few of them. Recently, Toastmasters added a new feature called Team View. So instead of typing the club number and then going through all the names, you could simply click on this icon here, the profile icon. Just click it. And in that profile icon, there is an option called View Team. And if you do that, it will bring a nice screen on the left-hand side showing you all your club members, which is equivalent to typing the club number in the search box. And from there, you can navigate to the right member. For example, my wife. Now, for every member, we can look at 4 things. their profile, the feedback, the transcript, and the e-portfolio. Now in the profile, I recommend that you tell your members to put in the nice photo so you can easily relate who is the member that you are looking at. And it has this additional information where the member is expected to record the roles, the dates on which they took up the roles. So as a VP ad, I could quickly check when they did this role. But my experience tells me nobody bothers with this. And I don't really come and use this for any of the approval process unless Toastmasters does something a little better than what they're doing right now. So I personally don't look at this because members usually forget to come after they complete a role to come and update it here. Unless your club is very strict in doing this, but generally they don't. The feedback is a very nice feature which was introduced by Toastmasters, by Pathways, as a way of giving feedback to your members on the speeches that they give. Again, the adoption of this is, in my opinion, based on what all the clubs that I have visited, is very, very low. In fact, the only feedback you will see is the test feedback that I shared with my wife. But in reality, people still prefer to write their feedback on a piece of paper after each speech and hand it to the member. But in future, once this system becomes mobile friendly, I'm sure a lot of people will start sharing feedback. But as a Basecamp manager, the thing that is most important for us is the transcript. This is where I can check what is the path the member is currently following. And if he has or she has completed any paths. So if I click here and say completed, I can check whether the member has completed any path. In this case, it is not. So I can go back to my active and I can then review and see that the member is currently pursuing the visionary communication path. And I can further go down and check what's the progress of this member in this path. I can see it is 25%, which means the member has completed level 1 and yet to start with level 2. Since the member has completed level 1, I can print his certificate and use it as a recognition in the upcoming meeting. Please note that the member himself or herself can print this certificate on their own, but it's a nice gesture if the VP Ed takes care of this after he approves the level and prints the certificate, and in the upcoming meeting presents it as part of the recognition in the meeting for achieving or completing a level. So that's how I can track the progress in the transcript. Now coming to the e-portfolio, this is one thing I just want to highlight to you all members. When you come to the members e-portfolio, you will find documents and you'll find badges. Don't waste your time clicking on documents because documents is something which the member uploads to his portfolio but is not accessible to anybody except the member. So even though I can see there is a section called documents here, I can just ignore it because it will always show me 0. So don't waste your time on this. But if you have assigned any badges, then you will be able to see them here. So that's as far as the member progress is concerned. I can go to any member. I can check what paths, if any, they have started and what's the progress, print their certificates, and so forth. Moving on to the second part is the dashboard itself. Instead of individual member, I want to look at how am I how is my club performing in terms of the various paths. So I have various tools available to me. The first is called the individual progress. And one tip, if I was to tell you about this dashboards, is before you look at any reports, you will see, you won't see it, but if you slightly hover over it, you'll see an arrow over here. Always make sure you refresh, because this data is not refreshed automatically. You need to refresh it. And after you click refresh, it takes a little time. You can see a small thing circling here. Then you can view the details. So here I can see level 1, who are the members who are currently working in level 1. What is the path they are following? And the nice thing about this report is that you can also click on this arrow here and export it to Excel and do all kinds of fancy things if you feel like doing them. The only limitation I would say is that in the individual progress dashboard, you have to go to each level, level 1 separately, level 2 separately, and so forth. You don't have a consolidated report showing you all the 5 levels in one screen. The other report that is available and very useful is called the path progress. It shows you the path in your club. So I can see, for example, effective coaching. How many people are currently enrolled into effective coaching? Status of all paths, or how many people have completed paths. So in this case, for example, one member has completed effective coaching and one member has completed dynamic leadership. Here we can see which are the paths that we have registered but not yet started. That means the member has just enrolled into the path but has not yet launched any of the projects within the path. So we can look at everything that we want about the member, what projects he has done at an individual level or at a group level is all available in this. Just make sure you refresh before you download any of the reports. Now, I would like to, in the another 2 or 3 minutes that I have, highlight some of the common problems that we come across. And the first thing I would like to talk about, and this happens very frequently with many members, they keep complaining, I am unable to mark my path as completed. So when he goes to his Basecamp and he launches any project, he can see this message, congratulations, you've finished the path. But when he tries to look at the progress, it says that the path is not completed or the project is not completed. And this is, for example, when you come to your education transcript and you go to your curriculum, and let's say I am doing the research and presentation project, and let's say I have finished this project. So when I come to my curriculum and I try to complete the project by going through the assess your skills after, yeah, I'm losing a few seconds loading this Basecamp screens. Bear with me.
We understand, Cajie. Don't worry too much about that. We will be very patient.
Yeah.
And just to let you know that we've got a few little things happening in the text chat that we will bring to your attention later.
Fine. So the question which comes to members is, I am doing everything. I reached the end and it says, congratulations, you have completed your project. But if you really close it, it is not completed. And the reason, of course, is that we have to be very careful in how we complete this section, assess your skills after. Because many times we think that we have done the assess our skill, maybe we forgot one of the questions. We forgot it and we reach the end. And we think we have done it and we move forward and we say, congratulations, but the member has not done it. You have to make sure that the member goes through each question till he sees the submit button. He has to select his option. He has to choose all the questions. And you have to ask the member, did you see the submit button? Did you click on the submit button? Because clicking this button is the only thing that will mark this project as completed. Another problem that the user might tell you is that, help, I'm stuck. I can't move forward or backward, because on some screens, the curriculum screen will open like this. You will not see the forward, backward, or any of the navigation screens. Always tell the member, maximize your screen, always. When you maximize, then you will see all the navigation buttons. That is one thing I wanted to highlight. And I think I have reached my time, if I am not mistaken.
I should have asked Amit or Christina to ring a bell or make a sound. How are we going for time there, Christina?
21 minutes.
Yes. So if there are one or two questions, I don't mind answering them based on what you saw in the chat.
Thank you, Cajie. That's lovely. I've been taking a few notes and more or less summarizing those lovely tips that you gave us. And the first one that others really liked was that one about the way in which the Basecamp manager can see most of the things inside the member's transcript and how we can look up the team details. So I know that one of those things was a favourite for Amit. Do you want to ask a question at this point or make a comment?
I didn't have any questions, Carol. I was just happy to learn a new way where instead of searching for the member, the search bar at the top, you can just search for the club and it gives you all the members at one go who are enrolled on Pathways. So that's definitely going to be useful for the Basecamp managers to look at who's enrolled, who's not enrolled.
Yes, I agree. And that might be a very useful tip that someone in this group could add as a follow-up post into the District 73 Facebook site. All right, let's see if there are other questions from the floor. And just to let you know, Cajie, that a few of the club members from regional Victoria in Australia had difficulty getting in and have just joined us. So they will be happy to know that the whole presentation that you've just given us has been recorded.
Great.
All right, I don't see any questions. Tracy, do you have any? Have you made a note of anything that you found particularly of interest?
I've made a note of things that have already been covered that I won't repeat when it comes to my section.
Good, all right. The one that I really love is that idea that you must learn to hover. There's a few things that we need to do in Basecamp, and we're learning new terms, but definitely hovering over that little arrow so that we can find out where we can find the refresh so we get the latest details. That was brilliant. Thank you, Cajie.
Thank you.
All right, my question for you is a simple one. how would you like to summarize what you've presented now for the Basecamp managers to enthuse them to approach their role as a Basecamp manager with courage?
In my opinion, it's a great learning opportunity for VPEDs to really push their leadership to the next level, because you get so much opportunities now to sit with members, explain to them, make them feel comfortable. So I would say if you put in the right effort to learn a few things, it gives you, it will sort of enhance your leadership, because you will be able to teach so many people who are sort of right now struggling, trying, because in short, I do have criticism for the user interface. We have to struggle, but what I should say is I'm a big proponent of the system itself. So if you forget about the technical part of it and just look at pathways as building your leadership and communications style with real world skills that you can implement, that's the message we should give to the members. This is something that you can really apply to your daily work. And yes, that's what my short message will be.
Thank you,
Help the
Cajie.
VP.
And I noticed that Christina has put in an excellent tip there to round off this section, is that you can use the tutorials and resources section of Basecamp. You might just like to point to that, Cajie, whilst you've still got it on your screen. Because in the tutorials and resources, there are loads of PDF documents you can download and video tutorials. So if you haven't yet ventured over there, and for some, of course, if you're new in your role, you won't be able to see this yet until July 1. But keep it in mind that when you are a Basecamp manager, you will be able to find lots of things to do to help your club members. Thank you, Cajie. We really appreciate your time and effort on presenting to us today. And if you would like to just tell us if that's it for now and stop sharing your screen. Do you want me to stop sharing the screen for